Yes, y'all. Welcome, Leverage Nation. Welcome, Services at Scale. Happy Friday. Welcome to Office Hours. What is up, Brittany? Happy Friday. Good to see you here. Welcome. We will get this show here on the road in just 1 second. A reminder to my Moguls community members, if you would like, you can post your questions inside of the Circle community for Moguls. And I will make sure that I get to each of those questions today, just in case we run out of time here to get to all the questions. Moguls, community members, you guys get priority on questions here. So just wanted to remind you of that. If you have any questions that you want to make sure get answered, please post them inside of the Moguls community on Circle, okay? Welcome, everybody. Danny, I am fantastic. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Yes, I'm having a wonderful Friday. Got up nice and early, got moving, got a good workout in, got some work done. So we're off to a great start. And I don't know if anybody's watching the news. We have a hurricane which will soon become a tropical storm headed here to San Diego. This is our first tropical storm warning on record in San Diego, apparently. So that's pretty exciting stuff. So they're expecting potentially in some parts of the state here in Southern California, up to 2 years worth of rain in a single day. So that could get very exciting. But right now it's gorgeous out as usual in San Diego. It's beautiful, it's sunny, it's clear. So we're going to enjoy our Friday, make the most of it. It looks like we've got Friday, Saturday should be good. Sunday, they're saying, is going to be a very, very dramatic change. So yeah, it'll be good though. It'll all be good. Mary Beth Parker says, isn't every day Friday as an entrepreneur? That's one way of looking at it. I like it. Every day is Friday. Every day is as close to, it's interesting. For me, every day is as close to the same as possible, which is just to say that every day includes a lot of work. Every day typically includes exercise. Every day typically includes time with people that I love. And every day includes trying to get some good sleep, eat some good food, have a little bit of recreation time, right? So I don't care if that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't matter what it is. I try and make every day as close to the best version of a day as I can possibly have. Yeah, exactly. Winter. Yeah, winter too. Let's see here. Marcia says, question, your Instagram for restaurants in San Diego, but your Services at Scale program is for agencies. Is there any connection? Do you recommend that we do our Instagram for our ideal clients? Okay, that's a fantastic question. Let's go ahead and get started with that one. Thank you, Marcia. So Marcia is referring to, I'll go ahead and pull it up here, Instagram.com/their San Diego. And I'll go ahead and share that screen so we can see what we're talking about. So the question Marcia asked, so she says, hey, you've got this Instagram here, and it looks like it's primarily about restaurants, right? And what it is a media site, there, San Diego, that is about all of the best things to eat, drink, see, and do in San Diego from a local's perspective. So this is not for tourists. It's for people that live here. It's sharing all of the best things to eat, drink, see, and do. And it's not just an Instagram account. It is a full-on site that gets, roughly 100,000 organic visitors a month. Plus, we're doing advertising campaigns. We've got Facebook. We've got a newsletter with close to 30,000 people on it. So it is more than just the Instagram account. It is a full-fledged, media business. So the question that Marcia asks about that is, well, is that related to what I'm doing with Services that Scale in terms of my training of agencies? It is intimately related. So Let me explain why that is. I have been selling to small businesses my entire career, and I have run into all of the challenges of selling and trying to build a business around selling and servicing small businesses. Okay. And those challenges should not be foreign to anybody who's in my orbit, because I talk about them all the time, right? That you have to very carefully manage your cost of sales. Your sales process can be too long, too drawn out, too custom to be justified by the money that you get from those customers, because they don't have big budgets. Your services need to be as productized and scalable and ideally automated as possible and recurring, because that's the way to make the economics of it all work. I have studied those things. I'm not just a run into the wall and just keep going guy. I try and be as strategic as possible as well. And so I studied across a number of different industries who has the best sales models to sell to small businesses. And particularly in the marketing world. So if I say that my objective is not to be an agency. Okay, I don't even like the word agency. The only reason I use the word agency is because you guys use the word agency. Okay, so that's the only reason I use that word, because I don't like it, because it's typically a terrible business model. Okay, if you're selling to small businesses, what we are trying to do is deliver marketing services to our small business customers and do that profitably. So what are then the best marketing services to deliver to small businesses? And also simultaneously, what marketing services have the best sales model and service model to be able to profitably and scalably do that, so I can actually build a real business? Okay, if I can't build a real business, I'm going to be very limited in the number of customers that I can help. And the goal is to try and help as many people and as many businesses as we can, and do that profitably and build a life that we actually enjoy in the process. So when I went around and I studied what businesses have the best sales model to sell to small businesses, it's media businesses. Media businesses have been around forever, largely because they have a very, very good model. Right? Whether it's a newspaper or a radio show or a television program or a website, the model is we can get you attention. We can help you with your marketing, and we can do it super efficiently because we already have a platform that is getting attention every day. And so how do we do it? We sell you an ad on that platform. Well, an ad is an incredibly easy product to sell and deliver at almost 100% margins, right? I design a little banner and put it up on my website, which is something that we're doing all day, every day anyway, putting content up on the website. It's easy to sell because businesses already understand it. Every single business that you go out and talk to already understands advertising. They don't necessarily understand SEO. They don't necessarily understand retargeting. They don't understand high-level workflows and artificial intelligence, but they get advertising. So I started this media property when I moved out to San Diego, because I've been in the business of selling marketing services to small businesses. And a big part of the reason why I decided to start a media business was, well, I want the most scalable, effective way to make sure that I have their attention and to sell it to them. So does that mean all I can sell is advertising? No, absolutely not. And in fact, I started this business with the mindset, very intentionally, of I am going to change the media business when it comes to local media, because they're too stuck in their ways. They're too stuck in these old models of just selling advertising. And as you guys all know, the media business, has gone through some real challenges because of that. And I'm also going to change this whole agency thing, because agencies have a bad business model where they're trying to do too much custom stuff, and they're not looking at the best opportunities to get the attention of the small businesses, which is media. So I said, I'm going to combine these two. And if you go out and you look in the media world, this has been adopted. If you look at the biggest media businesses now, there used to be separation of church and state. Media businesses were not agencies and agencies were not media businesses. And they didn't cross those lines. They had this cozy relationship where the agencies would sell to the businesses and then the agencies would go to the media businesses and say, hey, look, we have these big budgets. We just need to run some ads for us and you get your share, right? So now they have merged. Many media businesses now have an agency side to their business, and many agency businesses have gone and bought up media for the reasons that we just discussed. It's a good model. So that all gets back to Marcia's question. And Marcia, yes. So as you can tell, they are very, very intimately related. I have offered a program on how to build a media business like mine. I haven't offered it now in a good 2.5, maybe even longer than that, few years since I last promoted it. And there's reasons why, but I still, though, am a huge advocate. Marcia, I know, you had, I think, invested recently actually in one of my Instagram trainings. And one of those Instagram trainings teaches you specifically why I believe you should build, and if you are a local agency, why you should build an Instagram account where it is not about your agency. I'm not saying that you can't have an agency Instagram account as well. Sure. I'm just saying build an Instagram presence where the entire point of it is to get the attention of your target customer's target customer. Okay. So if your target customer is restaurants, okay, that's who you're selling your agency services to. Wouldn't it be great to own an Instagram account that had 50,000 followers that were all people who were interested in the latest news about restaurants? Well, of course it would be. Because then when you went to sell to a restaurant, you could say, hey, look, one of the things that we do that obviously is demonstrating our marketing capabilities is we have a platform like this where we can get you attention today. And in fact, Marcia, it's the best way in the world to prospect and get in the door with your target customer when on their San Diego's Instagram, I decide to mention some restaurants and tag some restaurants and stuff, right? Because then what happens? They see us posting about their restaurant. They see that it's got a few hundred likes. They see people making comments about, ooh, I really want to go there. And now it's much, much easier for me to say to that restaurant, hey, look at all this attention we're getting. I'd love to talk to you more about how we can get you more attention, right? So it's a fantastic asset to have to help you sell more of your services, to help you get more attention for your services. It is additional work, of course, but you have to decide. And here's my rationale, and here's why I wish everybody would listen to me on this, okay? You are going to be spending money on marketing and doing marketing no matter what. I mean, if you're running a legitimate business and you're serious about your business, you are going to be investing in doing marketing. So let's say you're going to spend $15,000 over the next year marketing, okay? You could market in all kinds of different ways. As we know, you could be running Facebook ads. You could be running Instagram ads. You could be sending out a newsletter to your customers. You could be doing cold calls. You could be doing cold direct mail. You could be doing cold email. All of those things have absolute value and viability, but none of those things creates an asset. So I am creating an asset. I'm doing all those other forms of marketing as well, but I'm taking a percentage of my marketing budget and I'm saying, why not market in a way that builds an asset? So 5 years from now, my audience is bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I can show all those restaurants I'm trying to sell to, look, we're good at marketing. Look at this asset we've built. And we can turn on attention to your restaurant now, right? Today, by just pointing our Death Star that we've created at your business because we have attention. Why not build the asset? If you're going to be investing the money anyway, let's say you're going to invest $10,000 in doing direct mail. When you're done with that direct mail campaign, it's done. It disappears. If you spend all day today doing cold calls, at the end of the day, you just start again tomorrow morning. There's no asset that's been built, right? But if you spend an hour today creating content, and then that content can go out and live someplace, and then spend the rest of your day cold calling. Well, now at least a percentage of your time has gone towards building an asset that tomorrow you add another piece of content. The next day you add another piece of content, and it continues to build and become more and more valuable for you. So that's why I do that. It's intimately connected to the agency business. And I would hope that other people would take advantage of the concept. Marcia says, but if I serve Portland gyms or tutoring companies or whatever, should I target other providers to those people for my Instagram? I'm not sure I understand the question, Marcia, and this may be here. I can give you the invite link. If anybody wants to come on camera today and have a conversation, we can have a conversation about it. But Marcia, what you should do is you should build. So let's say gyms and tutoring companies. I mean, those are two pretty broad things. If I was targeting gym owners, I would create an account in San Diego that's about fitness. It's about, nutrition. It's about getting outside and getting active. It's about all of those things. And then my gyms would have a perfect audience. The gyms I'm selling to would have a perfect audience of people to reach, right? I would have this asset where I can say, look, gyms, I've already got 50,000 people in San Diego that pay attention to us every day for fitness related stuff. So that's what I would do. Now, if you're doing something, let's say you're helping dentists, okay? If you're helping dentists, then what do you want to do? You want to build an account that just generally gets the most attention with people in your market. Why? Because dentistry can be marketed to everybody, okay? And what it's very hard to market dentistry as is anything other than like just boring dentistry, right? I mean, it's going to be pretty hard in San Diego to build an Instagram account that's about dentistry just in San Diego and have anybody follow it. Nobody cares, right? Maybe a tiny, tiny percentage of the population would actually care. Versus if I create an account that's about life in San Diego, then I can market dentists through that just fine because it's human beings that are paying attention and everybody needs dentistry. Same with real estate, same with, landscaping services. Like those are all general services, insurance, whatever, that could then be marketed through that community that I've built. Okay, Marcia says, got it. Awesome, good. So yes, that is what I'm doing, and that is why. Let's see here. Questions. Danny says, I love your daily routines, Mike. Thank you. So inspiring. Thank you very much. I do too. I put a lot of thought into what those daily routines should be and have figured it out over the years, and it definitely works for me. Paul says, love the session with Chase. Man, so did I. What a mind-blowing conversation. I went into that conversation knowing that I already spent a lot of time thinking about AI. I've thought a lot about what AI is going to do in our marketplace and stuff like that. But man, my brain was opened up talking to him. I was like, ooh, I had some breakthroughs here on this call. Do you think this will be ready to demo by October? Yes, for sure. Paul, I mean, obviously, I don't have any direct control over that. My understanding is absolutely yes, it will be. Okay. Thanks for setting up the meeting with Chase. You bet. I was very excited because the majority of the future web chat bots features that he mentioned, I was able to create. How do I set up a chat with you? What do you mean set up a chat with me? Set up a chat with me as in, I mean, Roy, honestly, this is not to be a jerk or anything like that, but super, I would say almost zero chance that I am going to set up a chat with you about your web bot that you built that can be integrated with High Level. And let me just explain to you why. Again, this is not to be a jerk. This is the reality is if I responded to everybody that asked me to have a meeting with them, to have a phone call with them because they've developed a thing that will help me, right? I would do nothing with the rest of my day. I would sit around and have those calls. I get asked to do those calls constantly. So I've had to develop my own approach, my approach to this. And I think that this is also the most realistic approach for you to understand. Okay. This is the reality of today's marketplace. I don't answer phone calls from anybody that I don't know. I have, last I checked, I don't know, it's like 35 voicemails. I will never listen to any of those voicemails. I will just delete them all. Once my thing starts to get full enough, I will just delete them all. Okay. I get 1,000 emails a day that I don't read. I literally just select them all and do mark as read. Okay. And I have filters in place to try and make sure the ones that I do want to read go to the right places, right? It's not that I don't read anything. So how do I find out about things? And again, this is an important lesson for all of us as marketers trying to build our businesses and trying to help our customers, which is the way that I find out about something is because they are doing a good enough job of getting attention based on their merits, based on the content they're creating. And that's the big one, is based on the content that they're creating, and based on ads that they're running, which you could essentially just say is the content they're creating backed by some money to it, right? So that's how I find out about things. There are lots of people saying they have chatbots. And so I'm sure some are awesome, and yours may be the very best one in the world. I just know that I will know if it's the very best one in the world here pretty quickly, because it will get to me, because I will see your content. I will see other people bragging about it, whatever it is. So that's the way I approach it. I think that that's the way that the world approaches it today too. And that's why we've all got to be content marketers and getting the word out that way, because I think that's the way people discover stuff. Okay. But I am incredibly, incredibly disciplined about, I don't do phone calls or meetings unless I am driving the reason for the phone call or that meeting. I have run businesses with lots of employees where my entire day became just meetings and phone calls. That's your entire day. And I very quickly realized that's not a day I want to have. You know what I mean? For two reasons. One, because I just think that's a terrible way to spend your time. And two, because I realize that when you are doing those things, you're not producing anything. And I want to be a producer. And I do everything I can to set up my business and my life so that I spend time producing. And then there are systems to distribute that production at scale, right? So having a call like this, I can talk to a bunch of people at one time. And honestly, if you're like, hey, Mike, I want to jump on real quick and show people the chatbot, you can come on this call and show people the chatbot. We can do that at scale. I'll give you the marketing opportunity right here. So if you want to do that, use that link, and I'll give you like 5 minutes to show it off. And then at that end of 5 minutes, I'll probably cut you off, just being real. But I think that we all need to be thinking this way. How do we maximize our production? And the way that you maximize your production is the same pitch that I make for how you sell high level, right? It's about systems. It's about utilizing systems and automation that then take that production and get it out to the world in a scalable way and bring attention back to you in a scalable way. That's business in today's world. And we should all be incredibly grateful for it, because we can live much more interesting lives when that is happening for us, right? Rather than my businesses before was sitting around with a bunch of employees and a bunch of meetings all day. And I just don't do that anymore, which is awesome. Rakeem said, hi, Mike. How would you go about building a local media in a city you do not live in or are moving away from? Rakeem, now that I've done this for years, I really don't think it would be that hard at all. And the big variables are just that you have to find a way to source those local stories that people want, because they want the inside scoop, right? So from somebody who's actually there and is getting that inside scoop. So primarily what that means, Rakeem, is you just got to find local writers and influencers and stuff like that will help you get content. So you're just going to build up like a little army of those people, have them under contracts where you say, hey, 75 bucks this week, go out to this place, get a bunch of good footage, share it with us, that type of thing. Right. So that's how I would go about it. Rakeem says, I'm trying to figure out how to scale it. Yeah. And Rakeem, if you I'm sorry, not Rakeem. I just moved on from Rakeem. Excuse me. If you have any questions about how to scale it and you want to ask those here, absolutely. And if you want, like I said, if you want to hop on and show us, what you got, let's do that too. I'm all good with it. Let's see here. Digital Dad says, would this concept work in a niche category that is not local? Digital Dad. So he's asking about my media site. It's much easier to do this in a niche category that's not local. Okay, local media is the hardest form of media because media is all about scale and bigger numbers. So services that scale and the media that I create around services that scale is easier than their San Diego. Why? Because services that scale is a super tight niche, right? It's a niche for just agencies, but it's global. So I get people coming to my content from everything, right? From Australia, from France, from Spain, from England, from everywhere, all day. So media, in today's online world, the media that is global or at least national or whatever is much easier than media that's just local. So I'm taking on the challenges of local because I like local. I like working with small businesses and helping them. I like working with the agency community and helping them. And because I have personally made a decision that wherever I live, I want to be as engaged, involved, and have as much influence as I possibly can. That's just a personal decision I made, like for my personal life strategy. So that's why I've chosen to do that. But it's an additional challenge. Addie says, what are you guys talking about? The video on this channel? Yeah, it's the live stream from yesterday. And it's up on the YouTube channel. Yeah, and Addie, right now, if you go to it, the thumbnail has like a little like AI, like almost like robotic looking head with a light shining out of the top of the head and stuff like that. And it says something about the artificial intelligence opportunities for agencies, something like that. So that's you'll see it on there. But yes, it was yesterday's live stream. Let's see here. Paul says, starting from today, regarding conversation AI, what is the fastest path to cash using Go High Level? I am moving to a new state in October for son's college. That's awesome, Paul. Good for you. Fastest path to cash with High Level. Okay, Paul, I'm going to do my very best to answer this as accurately and completely as I can, and also try and give you the answer that you want to hear, which is just might get me making money fast, right? Okay, so let me try and answer this, like I said, as accurately and realistically and fairly as possible. Okay, Paul, if you go into my high leverage agency program, okay, the high leverage agency program has the R4 surge to SaaS sales process in there. Okay, the R4 surge to SaaS, I think, is the best way to present yourself and to present your services into the marketplace. Okay. When I say the best way, let me clarify what I mean. I mean that it is positioning you in the right way to have the biggest, best success in this market long-term. And it's giving you the answer, or it's giving you the ability to learn how to do that as quickly as humanly possible. Okay? I believe that that's what the R4 sales system does, and I think it does it better than any sales system out there. And I've got 12 plus years of using that and other agencies using that with success to back up that statement. Okay? So here's what it's not, though. Okay? Let me explain to you what it's not. It is not the super shiny object like, hey, small business, sign up for this today and you'll make more money. Okay? It is not that. Now, that super shiny object thing, as we all should be mature enough to know by now if we're on these calls, those don't last very long. That's the sugary candy of marketing, right? And then you got to find the new one and the next one and the new one and the next one. And you can do that. You can just keep on creating the new one and the next one. If you're good at that, you can. Okay. My belief is that you are much better positioned for long-term success if you have something like the R4 Search to SaaS sales system that gives you the substance. And then, Paul, to answer your question of what's the fastest way to make money then, it's to combine that with some short-term sugar, right? It's to get some of that sugary candy out there and just be a little more aggressive about, okay, but yeah, Mike, I'm going to do some aggressive sales and marketing and try and get some in the door now, okay? So then the question is, so what I would advise to you, Paul, is that you spend time working on understanding and being able to present that R4 Search to SaaS sales system immediately. And just commit to every day, I'm going to spend a half an hour role playing that. Because honestly, it doesn't take much longer than that. It's so easy to learn. It's ridiculous. Okay. And for anybody who doesn't know the R4 sales pitch, let me just give it to you here real quick so you can see how easy it is and how fast you can learn it. Hey, Paul, there are 4 key marketing systems to help you grow your business consistently and profitably over time. Every business needs to have these systems in place, or you are giving up growth, you're sacrificing growth, and any money you're spending on advertising is getting wasted because you don't have the systems in place to make sure that you're capitalizing on your opportunities. The first of those systems is a reputation system. What I mean by that is, of course, as a business owner, your reputation is absolutely critical in the marketplace. You can do all the marketing in the world you want, but if you have a terrible reputation, you're essentially just spending to get more eyeballs on your terrible reputation, right? So we've got to make sure that we do what we need to do to make sure that you have a solid foundation, particularly online. Okay. It's up to you to deliver a good product and service. I can't change that for you. But what I can do is help you present your success with that online and protect that reputation as much as possible. So there are all kinds of ways that we do that. That's the first system, your reputation system. The next system is a resale system. Okay, as I'm sure you're aware, Paul, everything in the world has become more expensive. As a business owner, it's critical that you make the most out of every single customer relationship. And what I mean is that you try and keep them as long as possible and continue to sell them products and services that they're happy with, so the value of that customer to you is as high as possible over time. So we have to have systems in place to make sure that we're staying in front of our customers and continuing to resell them additional products and services. Am I making sense so far, Paul? Paul nods his head and goes, yep. Okay, the third system then is a reach system. Now that we've got this really solid reputation and we're making sure that we're maximizing every customer relationship, now we need to reach more customers. Okay, most small businesses are operating in obscurity because they don't have an affordable, profitable way of reaching more customers every single day. So we've got to put in reach systems to make sure that you're reaching more people. Okay. And then finally, we have what we call our retargeting or remarketing system. Maybe you're familiar with those terms, maybe not. They're a little bit technical. But what these systems are recognition that our customers have less and less attention every day. You know it, right? We're bombarded by every new social media thing and every new piece of content every day. All the data shows that we're more distracted. We need to make sure that we're staying in front of those prospects who haven't yet bought from us. Because the reality is it used to take 7 times to get a customer is what they said, 7 times for somebody to remember your brand and take action on your offer. Now they're estimating it's more like 10, 15, 16 times. So we have to have an affordable way of staying in front of those prospects who have not yet decided to buy. Because when a customer hits your website, statistically, 95% of them don't buy the first time. But they showed interest. We don't want to just let those people disappear on us. So those are the 4 key marketing systems. We call it the R4 marketing systems. And that's what we do as a business is we help put those systems in place so that you can grow consistently and profitably and allow you to focus on actually delivering the best product and service to your customers every day. Does that make sense to you, Paul? And Paul goes, yep. That's the R4 sales pitch right there. I just taught you guys. Okay. Obviously I've been doing it a long time and I'm just kind of winging it and stuff like that. I went through it pretty quickly, but you can also hear that it's all just common sense. You could learn that in a couple hours of practice. Okay. So Paul, then getting back to your, how do I make stuff as fast as possible? How to make money as fast as possible? Make money as fast as possible by putting something out there that's a little bit sugary. And so, Paul, I think that the conversational AI stuff is going to be an awesome option for this. Why? Because it's going to help businesses cut costs. It's going to help people drive more sales. And it's also going to be super, super, super easy and efficient for you to execute for your customers with almost no friction. Okay, so what I mean by almost no friction is there's pretty much nothing that they're going to have to do. There's pretty much no big setup or technical challenges or having to change their DNS or change their phone number or agree to use your CRM, any of that type of stuff. Like, it's going to be pretty stinking easy to just be like, hey, let me just show you how this works for 2 weeks for free or 30 days for free or whatever you want to do. And then we can see the impact that it's having, right? So when you can make a pitch like that with very, very little friction, Paul, and then what's critical is that you understand my whole search to SaaS sales process, because then what that does is allows you to upsell into those good, strong, recurring revenue packages that businesses are then just going to stick with you for years. So you combine that sugary offer with the substance of the R4 Search to SaaS and high levels complete capabilities. And Paul, if you do that and you add 3 customers each month, I show inside of High Leverage Agency the modeling. If you follow my game plan there, you're at 6 figures in income within 10 months, and then you're just off to the races. To me, that's the best way. Okay. So I know that's a fast, and honestly, Paul, there are a number of different front end offers that you can make, not just that AI chat, not just the AI chat one. Okay. There's actually a bunch of those offers, and I teach those offers inside of High Leverage Agency. It's just, yeah, you're welcome. It's just that we've been talking about AI, and so I just mentioned that one, and I think it's going to be a great one. But there are other really good ones too, and I think that's very important. Is you want to have a few different kinds of sugar, right? Not everybody's going to respond to the same message. Okay, certain people are experiencing different problems. They have different perceptions. There's going to be a bunch of small businesses that are out there going, AI, you're not touching my business with AI. We're not letting the robots kill us. So. Like you want to have a few different approaches. So I teach a number of different approaches inside of that program. Okay. Savoir Faire says, Mike, do I need to wait for the 14 days to finish before I can get access to your content? Well, you should get access to a whole bunch of content right away. So if you didn't get access to a whole bunch of content right away, something didn't trigger properly, and you should send an email to help@servicesthatscale.com, and we'll get that taken care of for you. Okay. Sometimes the high level system, affiliate system, like you may have been cookied to the wrong affiliate, or for some reason it didn't trigger our workflow. It's possible. So, but there is also, you do not get access to all of my content until you're a paid customer. Okay. So if you see on my high level bonus page, you will see that it says, here's what you get in the trial. Then here's what you get when you're actually a paying customer. So if you go there, servicesthatscale.com, high level bonus, you'll see that breakdown. So like High Leverage Agency, you don't get full access to High Leverage Agency until you're an actual paying customer. You can shortcut that process at any time just by ending your trial by paying for high level. Just saying, okay, I've seen enough. I was on a 14-day trial, but I'm 4 days into it. Let's go. I want access to all my stuff. So just end the trial and pay, and then you'll get access right away. Okay. Digital Dad says, I do local if I live in San Diego too. Yeah, it's a pretty nice place. Okay. Ismail, go ahead and fire away, or you can join us on the call if you'd like. Oh, here we go. I'd want to sell our SaaS. What do I need to have ready to showcase another interested agency? And where would I look for a buyer? Okay, great question. So we talked about yesterday on my call with Chase that I believe that there is going to be a very strong marketplace for people who build the business that I just described to Paul. There is going to be a very, very strong marketplace for you to be able to sell that business here soon. And Chase said on the call, it's already happening, right? They've already had like 8 or 10 or whatever it is, high-level agencies that have had a real nice exit now. That's going to accelerate dramatically. I bet you 2 years from now, there will be 75 in a year that will have exits. Okay. And I think that that number will continue to accelerate for quite some time. Reason why is because anytime you're building up really good, strong, recurring revenue, there is a buyer for that. Okay. So Ismail, to put yourself in best position to sell, there's a handful of things that are always true. Okay. One, you want to have perfect accounting and financial records. So if you're doing any shenanigans, right? If you're doing any bookkeeping shenanigans, or you're just not doing professional bookkeeping, you don't really have an accountant like really doing proper financial statements for you every month, that is a huge mistake. It is probably the biggest, dumbest mistake that small businesses tend to make. And it will cost you everything. So plan on getting your financial statements squared away. If I'm a buyer and you can't give me at least a couple of years of really solid financial statements that I can have my CPA go through and go, yep, these things are tight, I am going to slash the valuation of your business, right? I'm going to slash what I'm willing to pay you. Because as far as I know, you're just screwing me over, right? Like you've given me these financial reports that I really have no idea. Are they good? Are they true? Right? And so you're asking me to take a huge risk. Okay. So that's number one, get all your financial and accounting in order. Okay. Number two, get all of the non-financial metrics of your business really dialed in. Okay. Ismail says, should I move to accrual if I'm not already? I don't really care so much about that, Ismail. As long as your books are good and clean and clear, I'm not so worried about that. There may be some buyers that would prefer to have it in accrual, but whether you're doing cash basis or accrual, I mean, in your business, doing cash basis is probably just fine. Like there's not a lot of fancy accounting to it, right? You get money in each month, you pay out some salaries and expenses each month. Like it's not like you're doing huge R&D investments and all this type of stuff, or buying big chunks of real estate that need to be depreciated over years and all that. So you're probably just fine with cash basis. The next thing that you want to do is get all of the non-financial metrics really well documented. Okay, so Ismail, and if I'm evaluating a SaaS business, there are certain non-financial metrics that are going to be really important in valuing that business. And I go through those in my training. So if you're in my programs, okay. Yeah, my R&D is $497 a month. Yeah. So things like, what's your churn rate, right? What's your average lifetime value of a customer? Okay. What is your revenue to sales cost ratio? Okay, so you want to have a ratio of at least 3-to-1 of lifetime customer value to your cost to acquire a customer. And again, these metrics I give to you in my training. So you want to get those metrics as close to ideal as you can and be able to show those. That's like your firepower to be able to say to them, my business is worth 2 million instead of 1 million, and here's why, right? So those are all the things that you're going to need to like really negotiate. So financial metrics, non-financial metrics. Okay. Those two things are incredibly important. I would say, so in this business in particular, just getting your revenues as big as you can, right? So the valuation of businesses go up. They tend to go up like in staircases. Okay. So in other words, a $250,000 a year business is worth obviously much less than a $10 million a year business, but it's worth less like or a $10 million business is worth more than a $250,000 business at like an exponential scale. You know what I mean? Because at $250,000, let's say I would give you $250,000 for that. I would pay you 1 times revenue. At $10 million, I wouldn't give you 10 million. I would give you like 40 million or 50 million for that business. So like 4 or 5 times revenue. Why? Because a $10 million business has much more stability, security, durability than a $250,000 business does. And it's also dropping much more profitability to the bottom line to help me justify that bigger payment, right? It's also big enough in a marketplace that it's probably a very strategic competitor. You know, if you're doing 10 million a year in marketing services in the plumbing space, okay, you're like a gorilla. So you have a much better chance of going from 10 million to 50 million versus that $250,000 business, right? So get as big as you can. I mean, it benefits you no matter what, right? You're going to be making more money and all that stuff. So just get as big as you can. And then when it comes to finding a buyer, you know, inside of the high level community, there's going to be so many buyers. And so I think just putting the word out in the community that you're potentially for sale. I think putting the word out with the executives at high level that you're out for sale, putting the word out with people like me, since I know a whole bunch of agencies, right? So putting the word out that way is a great idea. Just you want people to start being able to give you a pipeline, right? And just like selling anything, the more options you have, the better chances you're going to be. You're happier with the deal. So if you have 4 people trying to buy you versus 1 trying to buy you, you're gonna end up with a better deal, right? So that's my advice. And obviously, you know, there's a lot more to be said about selling a business, but those are the, I think, the most valuable things I can give to you quickly on a call like this. Okay. Jasmine says, I do all right at talking to local businesses in person, but I suck at cold messaging. I text the businesses I find with a prospecting tool or on Facebook and nothing. Got a winning framework. Yes, I do have a winning framework, Jasmine. Yeah, you bet. You're welcome. So my framework is a little bit different than most. So let me just go ahead and share it though. My framework is, well, a couple things. So Jasmine, 1, I would recommend that you get in person however you can. So I'm a huge fan of like doing lunch and learns and events and things like that, where you can bring people into a room with you, right? So you can give your presentation, but you're giving your presentation one-to-many instead of one-to-one. It's just much more scalable, much higher ROI. So if you can get lunch and learns, and even just like in a local market, get 20 people into a room, that's a super good sales process for you. Okay. And then in terms of cold messaging, you know, there's the cold messaging that you do like with cold email, right? Where it's just, it should just be very direct and brief and straightforward, right? So, hi, Jasmine. I know you're not familiar with me, but I'm reaching out today because our business does X, Y, Z, and it looks like that might be a really good fit for you. I'd love the opportunity to just take 15 minutes to introduce myself briefly, if that is something that, you know, you're interested in, right? There's no magic to that script. There's no hocus pocus to it. And the reality is there is no magic to any of those messaging things. Some are going to work better than others by percentages, sure. But the reality is just have a good, concise message that has a clear value proposition that doesn't ask too much from them, and repeat it over and over and over and over and over and over again over time. And you're going to get people who will agree to get on the conversation and talk with you. Okay. The only thing that I do, Jasmine, that I really advocate that is different from that I think works really well and more people should be taking advantage of, is that going back to that Instagram platform that we talked about earlier today, is what we do with Their San Diego is we post content every day that gets a bunch of attention. And when we do that, we tag the businesses that we want to try and get in touch with. Okay. And so as an example, if you go to our stories and you look and you flip through our stories, you're going to see all kinds of businesses that we're promoting their business and putting a little mention about them in there and all that type of stuff. Why do we do that? We do that because it shows up in their inbox that we mention them on Instagram, and everybody is paying attention to their Instagram inbox. So these businesses then go through and go, oh, look, there's San Diego mentioned us. And then usually what they do is they respond back to us and say, hey, thanks for mentioning us. That's awesome. And then now we're in a little conversation with them, right? And so we got our foot in the door. That works dramatically better than just normal cold messaging. Why? Because we're adding value. The first step of it is we're adding value before we ask them for anything. We got them attention and they can see it. Okay. So anything that you can do to add value to get the conversation started is ideal, right? So that's our one, like I would say, kind of, ninja-y hack around cold messaging prospecting. It's really not a ninja-y hack at all. It's just adding value, which is always, I've called our sales strategy VIP selling for probably about 20 years now. And the V in VIP stands for value. Add value first. If you can add value first, sales is easy. And it's true. And it's always true. So it doesn't matter what the latest strategy hack technique is. If it's adding value first, you're gonna come out ahead. So then, Jasmine, the other way to add value first, which is much, much more common and is very scalable and still works to this day, is just make sure you've got good lead magnets out there. Have a webinar running. Have an ebook they can download. Have some good blog posts and content you're sharing so that people then are getting the value from that and reaching out to you. Inbound marketing, that's the best, right? I see a Rob back there. I don't see a camera on though for you, Rob. So if you would like to come on camera and give me a wave so I can see you and I will bring you on camera. If not, then I will assume maybe you just join that link instead of the normal link on accident, and I don't want to pull you on and have you doing anything embarrassing in the background. Paul says, if I upgrade from 297 to 497 through you, do I get access to a high leverage agency? Yes, you do. Absolutely, sir. Yes. Thank you for asking. And you can do that, Paul, if you go to, and I will message you as well, Paul. But if you go to that high level bonus page and you go down to the FAQs, and it will have a thing in there that says, hey, can I upgrade through you? And it'll tell you how to do it right there. But yes, you absolutely can. And I will send that to you after the call as well. Okay. Yes. So my little pitch, thank you to Paul here, is that yes, if you would like access to the high leverage agency as well as just about every training and resource that I've created for agencies, go right here to high level bonus and you will see if you sign up for high level through me, you'll get access to all of that at no cost. But if you are already signed up for high level, you can upgrade to pro through me and you will also get all those bonuses. Okay. Either way. So you can upgrade or you can sign up fresh and you will get all of the resources listed there on that page and growing and improving those every day. I hope that's the goal. There's my man, Rob.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Perfect. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing excellent. Always
I
dropping
love
the
Rob,
gems.
Man. 3 calls in a row. He comes on camera, asks good questions. That's all. I love it, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you, man. I really appreciate all this content and the gems you drop.
Awesome. What can I do for you?
Cool. So yeah, today, just wanted to first kind of get a little bit more insight. So you originally had an IT business, right? And when exactly did you have that business before you exited? Like what time frame was that?
Let's see here. I started that in 2003. I was finishing up my MBA. So I started it in 2003 and I think I sold it 9 years later. So 2012. I think that's right. Yeah, it was like 9 years. I don't think it was 10 years. I think it was 9 years.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, the reason I'm asking is, which plays out perfectly. So you obviously went through that period of, the '08 recession and all that, especially catering to small businesses. So we're kind of going through a pretty similar economic downturn here. So I'm just kind of curious what type of insight and tips you have on kind of navigating through that space, especially serving local businesses.
So let me give you even more direct applicable experience from that. So in the year before I sold my IT business, I started my marketing services business.
Mm.
And so we were not in a good market at all. And that business grew dramatically faster than my IT business. And my IT business was a 3-time, Inc. 5000, so it was a fast growth business.
Right.
My marketing services business grew way faster. And here's why. And this is totally applicable in a down market, is that I did exactly what I'm teaching you guys to do now, which is to have productized services that are lower priced, that are largely automated, and that allows you to deliver a lot of value to your customers at a lower price point. And that's critical with small businesses in general, but it's really critical when the market's tight and they're not too optimistic, right? They're worried, my money's just going to get tighter. So having those really competitive price points is really important, and having a service, which, gosh, that's the amazing thing about High Level, and this is only going to get better with all the stuff they're doing with AI, is that, you can show them that you are using systems to allow them to be more efficient, more competitive, and more profitable. The reality is the majority of benefits of technology to date have gone to big businesses, right? It's Amazon that's able to take advantage of all the rad technology to build this massive empire. It's not the small business down your street. Are there cases where small businesses are absolutely able to take advantage of technology so far to help them get ahead and run a better business? Of course, there's lots of those cases, but it's still the promise of technology for most small businesses is still feels like it's in the distance, and with High Level, just even as it is today, you can say to them, hey, look, I can set you up on all these systems, which are going to allow things to happen at your business just that much more efficiently, that much more effectively and profitably. But here pretty soon, you're going to be able to weave AI into that story, and the benefits that are going to come from that for small businesses are going to be crazy. I really think, so long as the robots don't decide to kill us, I really think that we are entering into this next era of like enlightenment, maybe for all of humanity, but for small businesses, wouldn't it be awesome if those small businesses that get started today that have this incredible product and the person is an absolute artist, but they're not a marketer and they don't have the resources to be marketers? Wouldn't it be awesome if that business could turn on the systems and be like, oh yeah, look, I just create the best product in the world, and those systems are working for me and getting the word out and following up with the people that need to be followed up with and all that stuff. Wouldn't it be awesome if they could like take full advantage of that capability so that they could truly work on their art? Because that's what the world wants. The world wants art. The world wants the best damn burrito that can be made. Man, if you can make the best damn burrito, I want the best damn burrito. I don't want the best damn marketer's burrito, because we all know McDonald's is the best marketer. McDonald's is the best marketer. But I went out to dinner last night at this little hole in the wall in San Diego where it's a husband and wife chef team that have been cooking for 25 years, where they're never going to make very much money in their restaurant. It's not big enough to. All the capitalism reasons are wrong with what they're doing, right? But it's the best damn meal, man. I was blown away. But McDonald's is the best marketer. They have the best systems. So wouldn't it be awesome if those small businesses could finally have the best systems too? So that's the pitch that you've got to be able to go out and make to small businesses when the recessions are, when the recession hits or fear recession hits or anything like that, because it makes sense. You're saying instead of hiring all those expensive people, we can now have systems that are working for you to make sure that you're getting things done and taking advantage of your opportunities and stuff and using automation to do that. So that's got to be at the foundation of your pitch. Your pricing has to match that, and you have to be able to demonstrate and deliver that, obviously.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, like the saying goes, the best product doesn't win, but the best known product does, right? So like McDonald's is a perfect example of that.
That's absolutely been true for the course of modern humanity anyway, for sure. Yeah. So hopefully the best product will win by being the best known product as well. Right. That's the goal.
Other thing in terms of like a good, I don't know if I asked this last time, but in terms of a good like build out fee or like an onboarding fee in terms of to get them started, right? What have you typically seen as a good range for that?
I really love between 2,500 and 5,000. And here's the reasons why. Your average cost of selling a small business customer is somewhere in that $1,500 to $3,000 range. That's when you load up all of your sales and marketing costs and you actually look at it as a real business owner, which unfortunately most agencies still don't. But if you do, it's between $1,500 and $3,000. So if you can get a $2,500 upfront fee, you're helping to recoup a lot of your sales and marketing, which then you can invest in a much more aggressive sales and marketing engine for growth, right? So that's a nice base number. And then anything up to that, $5,000 range, now you're starting to get a little extra cushion, right? Which you can do. You can use that to fuel a really nice onboarding experience, which is going to help with your customer retention and all that stuff. So in that range, I think is great. I think anything beyond that range, you risk really slowing down your sales process. And I think the more creative you're able to get with how you help them pay for that upfront cost, gives you flexibility there. So in other words, I could absolutely have a $7,500 or $10,000 thing if I'm also pitching it with financing, right? But if I'm asking you to come out $2,500 out of pocket, everybody that's a decent customer that you actually want to work with should be able to put $2,500 down. I mean, if they can't, you probably don't want them, or they're just screwing with you. There's negotiating, right? I just don't want to spend that money, and so I'm just going to haggle with you all I can, right? So it's one or the other. But that's a small enough amount of money that if you're a business owner, you should be able to slap down a credit card, worst case, and pay that, right?
Right. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then last thing is in terms of doing lunch and learns and various events, in terms of like the topics that you come up with your presentation, is it kind of just covering like the R4 sales system? Is it just those topics essentially?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the foundation of it, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. And so the foundation of it, I think in most cases should be some sort of variation of the R4. And you could peel off a particular R and just say, hey, this presentation is really going to be about reputation. And then in that presentation at some point or another, you say reputation is one of the four core marketing systems that we develop for our customers. Hear the rest of them, and you do that briefly just to give the big picture, but make the whole rest of the presentation is really about reputation. You can do that. But I think what's key is that it's nice to have a bunch of a variety of front end hooks, right? And so, and then the key to a good front end hook is it's whatever is in their mind right now, right? I mean, that's the good old marketing line from whoever that is, I can't remember, but speak to the conversation already in their mind. So ideally, as a marketer, if when we were going through COVID, when we were right in the pandemic, I put together the comeback campaign. And the comeback campaign was, hey, we've all been beat up by the pandemic. Let's make sure that we have a strategy for coming back now that this thing is wrapping up. That isn't just open your doors again and hope business comes back, because that seems pretty dumb. Let's like go for it. Let's have a strategy. And so the comeback campaign was, hey, how do we create a strategy around these things to be aggressive and go out there? So, whatever is going on in their mind, and there's always a bunch of things going on in their mind, right? Because there's always some latest news topic, AI, the pandemic, the recession, the Facebook just rolled out the latest thing. Let's talk about that. So the more that you're good at kind of doing that dance, being on your toes, taking whatever is current and relevant and topical, and then translating that into the rest of the conversation, the substance around the R4, then you never run out of topics, and you're always still strategically driving people into the system. And that's what I keep stressing to everybody, is always sell the system, and whatever hook you got to do to get people to pay attention to you to then sell the system is good.
Gotcha. And I assume you typically provide some sort of offer every time you do that.
Sure. Yeah. And in most cases, though, the offer is just, hey, we'd love to get on a phone call with you and talk about how we can put together a strategy for your business to take advantage of these systems, right? And you can make that more specific, of course. You can say, we do a 45-minute growth strategy call where at the end of it, we're going to present you with a customized growth strategy plan for your business. You do that. You can do the R4 audit. So you can say, we're going to help you identify the biggest weaknesses and opportunities in your business using the R4 audit to see where your gaps in the systems are. Or just, I'd love to get on a call and introduce ourselves and see if there's a way that we can help you. Obviously that's the weakest version of it, but it's at least a call to action.
Right.
So.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. And then just to confirm, so with your offers, like what you have, so you have services that scale, which is like essentially a full course going through like the SaaS model and how you approach it, right?
Yep.
Now, is the R4 included in that, or is that separate?
So here, so Services That Scale is a brand, and it's a business that I've had for a long time that I've changed the name of to be more reflective of what the business is about. But I've got a variety of products. So if you go to the products tab on my site, which you see right here, I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I've developed over the years. And I actually have way more than this. These are just the ones that I said, okay, in today's world, these are the ones that I think are most relevant and I'm going to keep out there. High leverage agency is the thing that I am most focused on for sure in today's world, because it is the most complete turnkey system and training that I can share with you that is based on high level. So it is based on high level. This is not, don't sign up for a high leverage agency if you don't want to use high level, because that's what this is all about. I'm doing that because I truly believe that high level is the best. It is the best and biggest opportunity for 95% of people in this space. So in that, you get everything you need. You get the R4 sales process, all these marketing materials, you get the strategy stuff, you get financial metrics stuff, you get everything that you need. Content marketing approach, all of that is all in here. If you were to go, and so when you said, does Services That Scale include X? If you were to go here, this is the Services That Scale. That says mastermind. I shouldn't say mastermind. I should say course. This is the Services That Scale course. Let me just see up here. Did that just get mislabeled? Yeah. This is the Services That Scale course. So this course, as it says right here, this is a foundational training on the formulas and strategies around building scalable services. But this could apply to anybody, whether you're using high level or not, whether you're selling video services or reputation services or any other services. This is more the strategies and concepts of how you apply scalability and productizing to those services. So that foundational course does not include the R4. The R4 is a separate than sales system. Specifically, it's 100% like, here's how you sell. So these are different programs that if you were to go into the high leverage agency, you're essentially getting all of these things packaged into a single program that's designed to take you from top to bottom, do these things to sell these packages using high level.
Got it. Perfect. Okay, yeah, that provides a lot of clarity.
Cool.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, that interview / like chat you had with Chase was awesome. I love that you have him on and what you guys discussed. So yeah, I appreciate you, and I'll definitely see you next week.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you.
All right, have a good weekend. Okay, let's see here. Jay says, so I'm selling UpHex plus booked appointment. Should I sell the UpHex features, click and go ads, or sell the outcome when prospects ask what I do? I would sell the outcome, Jay. Yeah, I mean, in that case, I mean, and I say that specifically because that's your business model. It sounds to me like what you're doing is you're charging them either per appointment, or you're charging them a monthly fee that's big enough to include you getting them appointments, I think. There's variations on this model. Yeah, that's the same question, right? So should I sell the UpHex features, click and go ads, or sell the outcome? Okay, so, but I would say, so Jay, it sounds to me like you already have a model and you're just asking the best way to position it. If that's the case, if I understand correctly, that your model is that you are actually delivering appointments to people, that's your promise, then that's what you should sell, because it's a much more understood and valuable value proposition to most businesses, right? Oh, you're getting me booked qualified prospects? Awesome, right? But I personally think that it is a great model to sell access to UpHex, sell access to your ads, sell access to the funnels that go with those ads. That's selling a system. So I'm a big believer in selling a system, and UpHex can be a part of your system, your proven ad system for chiropractors that includes the funnels, the follow-up sequences, the ads, everything, right? That you just bake that all together with high level, and you sell the system for $497 a month or whatever. That's my preferred approach, okay? I am not a fan of you going out and selling appointments unless you're really damn good at it. And then it can be a great model. It's just that the reality is that I find that most people who get in that business are not actually really good at that. They don't have a lot of experience at it, and they bought somebody's course saying you can be a millionaire by booking appointments for small businesses. And then you get out there and you find, oh, it's actually pretty damn hard to book those appointments by running paid ads. And I don't have a paid ad budget. And now I'm broke. And, and your customers churn after 2 months because you're not very good at it and you're not getting them appointments, or they think the appointments aren't very qualified, or whatever it is. It's proven to be a shitty model in most cases. Okay. So what exactly are those productized services, and how do you handle onboarding and fulfillment? Addie, I mean, there's a whole lot of productized services that I teach you how you can sell. And then fulfillment, you're doing almost entirely through high level. If you follow my approach in the high leverage agency, and I say because you don't have to. I mean, you can do this a number of different. I mean, like as an example, Addie, I have a vendor that I work with that what he does is he does customized creation of video shorts for YouTube and Instagram Reels and all that type of stuff, right? Well, he can productize that service. He can say it's $497 a month. You get 4 new Reels. Here's exactly the process, right? That's a productized service. He's given me boundaries. He said, here's what I do. I don't do things outside of these boundaries. So it's a product. It's not just some customized service where I can't just go to him and go, well, yeah, but you seem really good at editing. So would you edit my long form YouTube videos too? No, I don't do that, right? I'm not a video editing agency. I offer this product. The product is 4 shorts or 6 shorts or 8 shorts a month, depending on how much you want to pay me. And it has a specific process, specific rules, right? It's a product, not a customized service. So anything could be a productized service. If you go through my Services That Scale Foundation course and you follow those principles, you could make just about anything a productized service. So if you follow my high leverage agency approach, which is specifically using high level, then the core productized service that I teach you to sell is a system. It is the marketing systems. Okay. And so what I mean by that specifically is that a system is the various components that you need to bring together to accomplish the marketing functions that your customers are looking for. Okay. So high level are tools. Tools are a part of that system, but tools aren't enough, right? Because if the tool was enough, every small business would just be using the tool and they wouldn't need you because tools are already out there, right? So what else do we layer on to create a system? Well, there's like marketing assets that go on those tools. So you develop specific landing pages with specific messages for their market. You develop follow-up campaigns and sequences. You develop offers that you run ads to, whatever it is. Those are all the marketing assets then that go on top of the tools. And so what I recommend, what I teach you to do is you offer then those marketing assets on top. And then there's usually some layer of services that you're offering as well. That layer can be super, super thin so that, this is almost all just 100% automated services that you're offering, right? Or it can be a little bit more. You can actually offer managed marketing for your customers and charge them significantly more. Like, hey, do you have anybody in-house who's going to like do these marketing activities using our system? Because somebody's got to do this, right? And if they go no, you could offer a managed marketing option, right? So we'll manage the whole system for you. That's $2,500 a month, but you don't have to hire a full-time employee now to do your marketing because we'll take care of it all using our system. And we can do it for only $2,500 a month because it's our system. We've built in all these efficiencies. We know how to do it. And we do this for, 50 other businesses, right? So those are the core components typically of a system. There's another thing that I like to put on top, kind of the cherry on top, is like leadership, like market leadership. So in other words, if you are in the chiropractor space, right, then you could be that chiropractic growth guru, right, who's holding the conferences every year to teach them how to grow and run a more profitable business and all that stuff. That's another layer that you could offer on top of there that has tremendous value if you want to offer it. So that's the core thing that I teach you how to sell, is that system. Okay. Within that, though, there's all kinds of productized services that you can offer as kind of that sugary offer that I talked about before. So as an example, Addie, you could offer a website as a service. So the value proposition there is, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Chiropractor, you've got this old outdated website. It's missing a bunch of the core features that would make it a great sales resource. It's not optimized for mobile. It's got a bunch of old code that is damaging your ranking in the search engines. New websites, unfortunately, cost you $20,000 and have some big, long, slow delivery time because somebody in an agency sells you custom this and custom that. What we do is we've built best practice chiropractic websites. And what we can do is we can customize one for you and provide it to you for only $97 a month. So you don't have to pay that $20,000. You don't have to, and we make sure that your website has all of these core things: call tracking number, missed call text back built into it, opt-in forms, web chat widget, mobile optimization, yada, yada, all the things that you can do in high level with a standardized templated website. And you could just offer that. So like as an example, I'll show you right now. If you go to restaurantengine.com, this is a real nice example of some guys who do this, essentially that value proposition in the restaurant space, and have been around for years and are doing real well, right? And so and the business has been sold, I know, stuff like that. But you go right up here to pricing and sign up, and you can see it's just $4.99 one time and then $99 a month. And you get your nice, pretty professional website. And you've got a couple little options that you can add on there, and that's it. So they're just building a nice recurring revenue stream by offering a very productized website to a specific niche. Now, what I would teach you to do is make that your foot in the door, but that's part of your overall system. So now you can upsell them into a bunch of other capabilities using the full range of high-level capabilities to, instead of that being a $99 a month customer, be a $499 a month customer, right? So that's what I have done. That's been my experience, and that's what I recommend to you guys too with high level. It's a fantastic option. And the productized websites are just one of the many options that you have there. We just talked about, you could offer the AI chat bot here very soon. You could offer missed call text back. You could offer a web chat widget on their website. Those are all various foot in the door front end offers that you could offer as a productized service and then upsell into your greater overall system. Okay. Let's see here. Jay says, if you were selling UpX plus appointments, the lead asks, what do you do? How would you phrase it? Struggling with this. I don't know if I should click on it. I would just tell them, Jay, I help you get more qualified appointments at your business and fill up your sales pipeline. It would, just be something like that. You don't want to get into the technical mumbo jumbo in your elevator pitch. You want your elevator pitch to be the most intriguing value proposition. I hope you get more qualified prospects on your calendar so you can generate more sales. Something like that. And then they'll say, how? It's a great question. Well, what we have is we have this advertising system that we've developed proven campaigns and yada, yada. We take those campaigns, we apply them to your business, right? We manage the campaigns for you. You just get the benefit of the leads. So you don't have to worry about how to do Facebook advertising. You don't have to worry about developing your own marketing. You don't have to worry about hiring somebody on your team that can manage all that. We do it all for you. You just get the qualified leads on your calendar. When would you like to get started? Z says, which product of yours would you recommend starting with if you have no sales or marketing experience? Z, I would recommend High Leverage Agency. And I would recommend that you just sign up for High Level and go through High Leverage Agency. And I got to tell you, with no sales and marketing experience, getting into this business, I will just personally tell you that I think that there's a lot other businesses that you could do that will probably be a lot easier for you. Okay. So I'm just being super transparent for you. There's no reason to get into a business that's going to be harder on you than getting into a business that's going to be easier on you, unless you're just diehard passionate that you really want to be an agency for whatever reason, which I don't know why that would be. But here's why. If you don't have any sales and marketing experience, you're going to have to figure out sales and marketing for you. And that's tough enough as it is. Like, you're going to have to figure out how to do sales and marketing for your own business. That's tough enough as it is. Most businesses struggle with that, right? But now you're taking on the task of trying to figure out sales and marketing for your customers' businesses too, and trying to present yourself as somebody who can do that. Like, that's a challenging, that's a challenging two-step. Okay. I'm not trying to discourage you. I just feel like it's my responsibility to also be honest with you. Okay. Last question, says Jay. So selling UpX and systems and a lead asking what I do, how would you phrase my systems and outcome without rambling, listing everything my system offers? So Jay, that is such a good question. And I hope I kind of already addressed it, because yeah, you rambling about all the techno mumbo jumbo is just costing you sales, because business owners don't care, right? So if I was doing the pitch, Jay, and I'm talking to a chiropractor says, what do you do? Well, it's good question. Thank you. I help chiropractors get more qualified, booked prospects on their calendar that turn into more sales. Okay. And that chiropractor goes, oh, good. Well, how do you do that? And I said, well, I've developed a marketing system specifically for chiropractors that includes tested best practice ads, and offers and follow-up sequences. And I manage that system every single day. And so we're just really good at what we do, using those resources to get you qualified booked appointments. So you don't have to worry about any of that. You don't have to worry about having an in-house marketing person to try and do that. You don't have to worry about trying to master ads. You don't have to worry about hiring an agency that isn't a specialist in your market, because this is all we do. And that's pretty much it. They don't really care about all the details. And in fact, Jay, if I was having a conversation with a chiropractor that was trying to get into all the details with me, I would probably go, Jay, I might be like taking you, I might be doing a poor job at explaining my services, because really my value proposition is you don't need to know all those details. Like, do you really care as a chiropractor, or do you want more qualified booked appointments? Because what I do is I deliver more qualified booked appointments. If you don't find that that's true, you won't stick with my services, right? That's pretty much all you need to know. You're not gonna use that line unless you have rapport with somebody, right? You got a sense that they'll respond well to that, and they don't just think you're being evasive. But that's the way I would answer with a version of that in most cases. For me personally, that's the way I would do it, because they don't care. You just want more qualified booked appointments. Okay. How would you go about using the DBR model of Rob Bailey in a systems context? I found the marketplace saturated with the spear idea of selling guaranteed appointments. Yeah, totally. So I love Rob, and he's obviously done a fantastic job of training on the database reactivation model. It is a sexy way of saying we're going to market to the customers that you haven't been marketing to, right? You've been one of the bazillion businesses that have done essentially no common sense marketing to your existing customer base. So we're going to send off an email or an SMS or whatever it is to them. I mean, so I say that because I think it's so common sense that obviously any marketing system that's put in place for a small business should include marketing to your current customers and your past customers and prospects, right? Like that should just be so obvious. So any marketing system, when you ask how would you position that in this greater systems context, well, every system that you would put into place, that's what that resell component, the second I said reputation and the resell component should obviously have some sort of reactivation built into it, right? So that would be part of my overall system. And the reason why I think that you need to have the ability to sell much more than database reactivation. That's my personal belief, because if you're a one-trick pony, just like you said, I found that the marketplace is saturated with people saying that they're going to do X. Yes, it's a very competitive marketplace. So if you are selling X, one, it's very easy for somebody to compare you to another provider and go, well, that provider is providing X. And if you are selling X and they're hearing that all the time, it's like contacting a small business right now and saying, we'll get you higher ranked in Google. Well, gosh, I have only heard that 15 times a day for the last 15 years. Thank you. Thank you for that unique value proposition, right? It's so repetitive. You've got to have a different angle at getting to people, right? So if I were in the situation of selling a database reactivation, right? What I would be selling is not a database reactivation. What I would be selling is that, something along the lines of, hey, small businesses, we're going to show you a proven strategy for getting a nice boost in the revenues of your business in the next 30 days, something like that. That's the value proposition. I'm getting them more money, more customers, things like that. Okay. Then, of course, the question is how? Well, what we're going to do, what we found is that most businesses like yours are not taking advantage of their existing list of all of their previous prospects and customers that have already shown interest and probably bought from you at some time. They're not taking advantage of being able to remarket to them. And you can call it whatever you want, but they're not taking advantage of that, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to use one of our proven campaigns to market to that past list of prospects and customers and activate a percentage of them to take action with you and come back and make some purchases. Okay. So then my conversation would be that is a part of an overall marketing system that we use to help you grow your business. That is one part. Here are the other parts. And then I would sell that they are getting onto the system. Okay. And I would make that campaign that we do, that reactivation, the first thing that we do as part of our surge to SaaS, our onboarding process. Okay. So to me, again, you should always be selling the system. That is the thing that gets you the long-term recurring revenue from your customer. That's the thing that gets you the most success in the long term in terms of helping your customers, because now they've got these complete marketing systems in place. Okay. What you need to do up front to see them get the immediate value out of that system so they're hooked is what you do in the surge. So I call it the R4 surge to SaaS. So I would sell that if that's what the customer is responding to, or that, that could be one of the dozen hooks that I have out in the marketplace. And if they respond to that hook, then I say, here's what we do. It's part of our marketing system. When you come on board with our marketing system, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to activate these past prospects and customers so that you can see immediately the benefits of this system. So that's what I would do. I would make this my value proposition, but then sell the overall system, deliver the reactivation as part of the surge. But I'm always selling the system. Okay. I hope that helps you. And what I would say, just to make sure I've made this point, is there are lots of other hooks you can have out in the marketplace. It doesn't have to be just about database reactivation and filling your calendar with appointments. Like that is one value proposition that's been, we've been riding that to the end of the world and back for the last several years, right? So there's lots and lots of other value propositions to have out there, but they all lead to the system. Okay. And that's the point. Yeah, you bet. Howard, my man, says database reactivation has a bit of an obstacle with A2P registration. Can't just upload a CSV and send. Well, yeah. And that's, that's obviously that's assuming that you're doing SMS too. I mean, you just do good old email reactivation, right? Like there's lots of ways to do that. So, but yes, there is an obstacle to it. I mean, there's a significant obstacle to it. The obstacle, regardless, is you've got to trust me enough to give me access to your customer list and let me send out a campaign on your behalf, right? There's significant trust there. And that's a process. It's got to be planned. It's got to be set up. It's got to be, right? So it's a significant obstacle. It's not my favorite. I understand why it's Rob's favorite. And I think, like I said, he's done an excellent job with it. It's not necessarily my favorite. Awesome. Any other questions? I'll take one more question. We've been here an hour and a half and then I got to go here. Okay, here we go. What do I think about selling one feature services like call trackback or chat widget instead of the whole marketing system with many features? Matt, I think it's totally fine to do that. I think that the ideal scenario is that you sell that one feature to then put somebody into more features. I mean, that's just kind of common sense business, right? I mean, let's sell them on something and then upsell them, right? So I think that that's ideal. So market all the individual features, and in high leverage agency, Matt, I give you a bunch of those individual services and I give you marketing materials for those individual services and say, yeah, just go market this one thing and this one thing, market 10 different one things so that you always have people that are responding from different hooks coming in from different angles, because different people are going to respond to different things. And selling one thing is easier for the brain to process. And so, yes, I think that that's an excellent thing, but I think that you should then sell, ideally, more of those things into a bigger system, because that raises your customer value and it makes them dramatically more sticky. If I'm using a system that's giving me missed call text back, web chat widget, you're capturing the leads through lead magnet forms on my website, you've got an AI chat bot, I'm using it for the conversations tab to chat with anybody who's chatting with me on all of my social media profiles, it is a much harder situation for me to cancel you and move to another provider. So it's just common business sense that you're then going to upsell them to other stuff and try and get them hooked in more ways. So yes, sell those individual services. Awesome. I'm a big believer in it. Market all those, market your bigger system, do both. Different people are going to respond to different things, right? For every prospect out there, Matt, that goes, man, I would just like that one thing on my website. That would be awesome, right? There's also another prospect that's out there that's going, man, I've bought just the one thing so many times and I end up canceling them and because it's not enough. What I really need is somebody that will give me I can solve this whole damn marketing puzzle for me, right? So they're both out there. Market both value propositions. Use the one service marketing to get them hooked to sell the bigger thing. It's the better business model is to get them hooked on a variety of different services. Then you've got a higher customer value and you've got a stickier customer and a customer that should be winning more, right? They should be doing better as a business because you're now helping them with more areas that they need help. Okay. Awesome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here on Office Hours. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the good questions. I hope you got some good value out of this. Thank you so much for being a part of the community. As always, thank you for your business. As always, I do these calls every Friday, assuming that my calendar allows, but that's generally every Friday. And so please join me on a future call. If there's any way that I can help you, the replay of this is always immediately available on my YouTube channel. So go there and you can catch anything over again that you need to. And have a fantastic weekend. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. We'll see you hopefully on a call again here next week or in one of the community groups in between now and then. And obviously, if I can help you with any of my products and programs, I would love to. So hopefully we'll see you inside there as well. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.